I am going to continue with this series that I've been wanting to educate you on with the mildly fearful avoidant attachment. So, this is also known as disorganized attachment. This is the one of the most unpredictable attachments there are. So, let's get into it. So, a mildly fearful avoidant attachment is going to look more subtle, more functional, unlike the more severe cases of the disorganized attachment pattern that they're known for. They are more often likely to maintain long term bonds, but they're going to struggle with that push pull dynamic that they're known for. The signs of a mildly fearful avoidance person, number one, the vulnerability hangover. So you may experience a sudden urge to withdraw or feel a sense of exposure immediately after a deep, intimate conversation or particularly a close weekend together. Someone with a mild fearful avoidance may also have hypervigilance to tones. Just like the anxious partners, they are acutely sensitive to subtle shifts in the partner's mood or texting frequency, often interpreting minor delays in the signs of imminent rejection. A mildly fearful avoidant may also be testing boundaries. So they do subtle tests to see if the partner will stay or if they'll pull away, and if the partner will become smothering when given space. So they do a little bit of the avoidant and anxious style at this time. Emotional inconsistency. They may fluctuate between wanting intense reassurance and closeness to feeling also suffocated. This also leaves their partners very confused. They may not know exactly what the person wants at this time. So they may need also total independence depending on this level at this time. What somebody needs to know is that a fearful avoidance attachment can be sometimes more avoidant or sometimes more anxious depending on what level they are. But it can fluctuate. So a fearful avoidance will have a consistency of both sides. Difficulty in future planning, commitment milestones like moving in together, marriage may feel very threatening, leading to the go with the flow attitude to avoid feeling trapped. So they may just be like, yeah, whatever you want, just to avoid any kind of conflict. They have distrust of vulnerability. So they may feel that showing their true self is dangerous because others will eventually leave when they see their flaws. So they have that fear of rejection and the fear of abandonment, but both of them has a trigger of vulnerability in there where if they see the true self, then that person will probably leave anyways. Like the dismissive avoidant who really just kind of avoids everything. They have a hot and cold dynamic. This is where that pull push hot cold comes in, being highly responsive for days and then suddenly going silent to regain a sense of equilibrium. So like if you're in a relationship with a fearful avoidant, they may be all into you for a couple days and then back off because they need a break. And this is the part because they want you, but they want you when they want you, and they have to step back to regain a sense of self-control for them. Fearful avoidance use logic or matter-of-fact reasoning to explain away a need for distance rather than acknowledging their underlying fear. So they rather explain to you why they need their space than dealing with the fact that they're afraid of losing themselves. They also will self-sabotage their relationships even at this point, finding small, insignificant faults in their partner once the relationship becomes stable or safe because the lack of drama feels very unfamiliar or suspicious. Now, coming from someone who's anxious, so this is something that's more on the anxious side more than this dismissive avoidance side, because when you have anxious attachment, you are addicted to the chaos, so you feel like it's weird or unfamiliar. Whenever it feels safe or stable, you're just not really used to it, so you're kind of like something's gonna go wrong. Like, I know something's gonna go wrong. This feels too good to be, natural. It feels too good to be real. So your mind is gonna start playing with you at this point. But they may also start just seeing that that person is getting too close, and they'll start backing off at this point. They want them, but they don't want them. They crave their closeness, but they are afraid they're going to reject them at this point, even as a mild, fearful avoidant. So a mildly disorganized attachment or fearful avoidant at this time will still struggle when stress is high. They are less likely to be reactive at this point, higher capacity to participate in couples work. So they're still at this point willing to do the work. They are establishing on building trust. They can see things more realistically and balanced even when they're triggered. They do have a higher self-esteem at this point and also have regulation skills, so they can kind of see what they need to do to work on themselves. Learning to comfort and also seeking comfort from their partners. And at this point, they will be able to do the work without any kind of conflict.